So just based off that, I'm a Lions fan, and I can name 5 players.
Thank you very much. That's so real. That's
And
the shit we're
okay.
talking about. I actually can name 5 players. Fuck you.
Sponsored by Beatbox, the mango flavor specifically. So let's begin and talk about our channel, because it has been a year since we even talked about it and planned it out.
That's crazy.
I know, right? What inspired us to start the podcast, either as casual fans, not analysts?
That's a really good question. I think the reason that we wanted to start the channel is because we grew up. We're both from Texas. So the football culture in Texas is
really
huge,
strong. Yeah.
obviously. So we grew up watching football, going to the tailgate
High
parties
school.
or whatever. Right, yeah, the high school Friday night lights or whatever. And so football has always been a prominent cultural aspect of our lives. But I feel like as it's about to get deep as fuck.
It's
quickly.
okay.
I feel like as women, we don't get the chance to play football like a lot of younger guys have the opportunity to, join a football team. But as women, you don't have the opportunity to actually be in the game and play it. So growing up being a casual fan and watching the game, we decided we wanted to learn more about it, and we wanted to learn more in depth and be, I guess, better
Spectators.
right. So we started learning about it, and we thought, hey, like, there's probably a lot of women that are in our shoes that enjoy watching football, but there's like not a space for that. You go on YouTube and you go on social media, and it's always men talking about football, and then there are starting to be more women and stuff on bigger mainstream media football shows and stuff. But I don't know. I just feel like there's not a space for women that aren't like fucking analysts on mainstream media, just casual fans. And there's tons of shit online for casual fans of men, but there's not really a space like that for women. So the whole idea of it was, hey, like, let's learn a little bit more about the game, and let's make a podcast where we just talk about it as casual fans, so that other girls and other women can see us and be like, hey, like, it's fine to be a girl and like football.
Yeah, and I think I agree with that. And I also think that if we are working to create a space where, as women, girls, females, we can just have a space to casually speak about football. Like, I've literally had experiences even just last year being at a dinner with the men talking about football, and I want to join in on the conversation because I like football as well, and we're watching every single game of the season,
Right.
and yet I'm like being shut down, or like
Right.
treated as if like I don't know what I'm talking about. But it's in such a casual manner that like I can't be offended,
Right.
so it's just not a comfortable space that we have created, and that's what
Right.
I really wanted out of our podcast.
I agree. I feel like, I guess the intention was, if you're gonna be a woman who likes football, you have to know everything. Like, you have to be an analyst, a sports analyst, and you have to know everything about football. But the expectation for men is not the same. Like, nobody
Yeah.
expects a guy to know every single thing about football. Like, there's casual fans. There's men that watch football that don't even really understand what the hell is happening, but they just like being a part of the team and like watching the game. And I'm like, that's fine. And nobody
But
really
why
says
yeah
yeah, nobody
yeah but
says
why
shit
can't it
about
be
that.
shit but it's not fine for us, because like when we get asked, or when we get when we tell someone that we enjoy football and we have a favorite team, the first like answer or word out their mouth is name 5 of the players.
Right. When the fuck has a guy ever said, "Oh yeah, I'm a fan of the Patriots," and then another guy is like, "Name," like they don't question, and it's like yeah, the expectation for women if they want to, be a part of a fandom, they have to prove themselves to be there, and I feel like that,
Exactly.
yeah, it's a fucking game, dude.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so that
Yeah.
whole environment is so toxic, and really what we wanted to do was show other women that you don't have to prove yourself to be a fan of a sports game, and you don't have to know every single thing about the sport to be able to enjoy it.
I still learn new things every time, and they're constantly changing stuff all the time. Like ever
Right.
since we became more aware of, the league rules and their regulations and everything, like when we do our own research for our episodes, I learn something new like every time. I'm
Every
like, what the
time.
fuck? Like that's
Right.
a thing.
Right. Yeah.
So great. I'm really happy that we started the podcast though. I'm very excited for this upcoming year. I think like with 1 year under our belt, we're just gonna get better and better and better.
Right. I agree. I'm excited.
So then let's pivot to that weird double standard that we kind of touched on, how men can casually like sports but women are expected to prove themselves. Do you still feel that we are going to have to prove ourselves in this new season, or do you think that will ever change?
Yeah, I think yeah, the double standard is really crazy cuz like I said earlier, like you go on every corner of the internet and there's some fucking guy saying some shit about football.
Something.
Right. And I mean, people will like comment and be like, "Yeah, this is a bad take" or shit, but but it's not really the same as the kind of shit that we get in our comments and stuff like that. It's
Yeah.
they never have anything to say about our like what we're saying. It's always about the fact that we're women. And I'm like, this is
Yeah.
the exact reason why we did this in the first place. But I think after having the podcast for about a year, or I guess a season, I just don't fucking care. Like
Yeah.
every comment that we get, I feel like it reinforces the why behind why we're doing this.
I
And
agree.
it's so I I'm excited for the next season, and I'm excited to just talk football, and I don't really care what anybody has to say. I kind of expect it now, and I expected it when we started,
Yeah.
but now I'm like, I not that I really cared too much in the first place, but I did. Like, if I'm
You
gonna
get
be honest,
curious.
I'm like to be completely 100% honest, I would kind of feel some type of way whenever I would read some of the comments that we would get or some of the shit that people would say, because I felt like I had to prove myself, which is what we were talking about earlier. Like, I feel like I have to prove myself. Like, I have to prove that I have a reason for why I said this. And so I would be like arguing in the comment section with people. And a lot of the times, like, after I replied and we were like talking about it, they would be like, yeah, like, that's valid. Like, I understand why you said that, and like you have a good point, because I feel like these people, like, they see us and they just see us as women, and it's kind of like what we were saying earlier. But then whenever I actually reply, they're like, "Oh shit, like this is a real person."
But yeah, but I just don't think that it should get to that low. Like we shouldn't have to reply for people to realize that we are
Right,
humans when we're literally like physically
right.
humans.
I
But also
exactly.
I think that the curiosity of like, or even the like rage that I would feel isn't gonna happen as much, because like you said, like I'm expecting it now. But
Right.
some of the stuff, like it was just really crazy. Like that one guy who said uh, what did he say? That, oh wait, we basically needed to be like D4 athletes and or something like that, or
Yes.
a D3 athlete, and he's like, I wouldn't take carpenter's advice from anyone who wasn't a carpenter, and it's like,
Meanwhile, we
we're not
weren't
giving
giving
advice.
exactly,
We're not giving
exactly.
advice. We're here to share our silly like some of our opinions are silly, and we like preface that. Like, I don't know, everybody, but also comments do and are mostly just rage bait, which is like
Right.
something that we're gonna go into like this season just knowing the back of our head, because like we're obviously not experts. Like
Right.
we're in
We're
our
not on Fox
bedrooms.
right now,
Yeah,
literally.
we're in our bedrooms just chatting. We have a fucking oh, what is the shit called? I forgot. It's been so long.
What?
What was our beginning segment?
Oh, Slayer Nay.
Oh yeah, there you go. We have a fucking Slayer Nay section. Like, let's be real.
Right. I'm like,
Let's be
you're
real. It's
seeing
based
our
off.
right. You're seeing our video on your feed and we're sitting in our beds talking shit. You know what I mean? So, it's not like we're on Fox saying really diabolical shit. Like, we're not claiming to be analysts, we're not claiming to be experts, and we've said it a million times. But that's exactly the shit that I'm talking about. Like, we feel the need to have to preface with the fact that we're not experts and we're not analysts, but it's like, holy shit, like I have to give a disclaimer about that because
Right.
I know some like it ties back into the original thing that like as a woman you have to prove yourself to be even in the space as a casual fan. It's so crazy. The double standard is definitely there. You know what I mean? So,
Definitely. But I mean, at the end of the day, I'm really happy for what we've created and what we are continuing to create. So little by little, I feel like we are part of the people who are breaking that mold, and I love that for
right.
us. Also, I lost my train of thought. Hold on.
I had a thought if you want me to go.
Go.
Okay, my thought was um like to the men that are watching this video where we're talking about a very basic concept in football, right? And we're explaining it and we're talking about what's happening. And there's a guy who's like, super like played football in high school, so they know all the ins and out of it. And they see our video of us talking about a very simple part of the game in a very simple way. And they get like triggered about it, right? The reason is because it's not for you. It's not for you. If you see a video of us talking about football in a very simple way, it's because it's not for you. It's for women or it's for fans that are not
Yeah.
as diehard as you. You know what like there's other people in the
Yeah.
world that exist. And if you feel like you're fucking threatened that these bitches have the audacity to speak on a subject that is near and dear to your heart and simplify it in a way like it's because there's other people that exist in the world that are not on the level that you're at, and I feel
No,
like that
literally.
like they don't understand that this is not for you. You're not our target audience. I'm sorry. I'm like, if you want to watch this, that's fine. And like, we like Albert is like a diehard fan. And he watches our shit, and there's like other, fans that we have that like comment on our stuff all the time and say shit, and like they support us. Um, and they're like, more diehard fans than us. But like, you guys are like not our target audience. It's for our podcast. We created it back to circle back to the first question. We created it for women who are not diehard fans, who are just watching the game because they enjoy it.
Casual.
Right. So I think that also plays into it that there's men that really hold the game like near and dear to their heart, and whenever they see two bitches that don't love the game as much as they do, they feel like some need to fucking, you know what I mean. So,
No, it's whenever it's usually on our shorts when they get like 5 seconds of our 2 hour like video, and
right.
it's like me, uh, it's me being like, yeah, the fucking Chiefs suck, and then
Right.
like they don't get the context, and then it's
Right.
like,
Exactly.
like
Yes.
okay,
I can
you
think of
didn't
a
get the
specific.
context, but that's okay.
Right. I can speak. A specific example of that is whenever the Vikings had a great season last season, but then they went to the playoffs and Sam Darnold shitted on himself.
Oh yeah.
and
He
played
shit
the worst
himself.
game he had played all season. And we were like, Sam Darnold shitted on himself. And then there was a 5-second clip that we posted to like YouTube Shorts or TikTok or whatever, and people were like, "Oh my god, the Vikings don't suck. They made it to the I'm like, bro, this is 5 seconds of like a 2-hour conversation. Like the
No,
context is
like
not going to be there.
literally.
I promise you, the sun is going to rise tomorrow.
Speaking
It
of
will
which,
be okay."
well, I guess it's not speaking of which, but while it's on my mind, I am a Lions fan now.
Are you?
Yeah.
Are you still a Texans fan too?
Okay, so I was thinking about that and I was like, I was a Raiders fan because Oakland, but now I feel like I can drop them
Where did
because
you grow up again? Did you grow up in Oakland, or it was like
yeah,
nearby?
yeah, I'm
Oh,
from Oakland.
you actually grew up in Oakland, or you were born in Oakland.
Yeah,
Oh
I'm
my
from Oakland.
god. Period. Ah.
Alameda County. Um but I
Period.
was like, okay, I can drop them because they're in Las Vegas. I'm not from Vegas, but
And
like
they fucking suck.
I love Vegas. Yeah, so I can drop them. And then I was
Oh
like,
yeah,
okay,
they're
I'll
not even
just
in Oakland anymore. What the fuck? Yeah, why the
exactly.
fuck are you? You're right. You're so right.
Exactly. So I'll be a Texans fan because
Of
Houston,
course. Right.
but I'll be a Lions fan because like
Amon-Ra
pride.
St. Brown. Sorry.
Because like pride. Well,
Right.
there's Amon-Ra, there's
Gibbs.
Gibby.
I know you would love him
I do
because of
love
the
Gibby
documentary.
because of his documentary.
Right.
Yeah.
Period.
They sucked me with the title. It was like homeless orphan boy with no child, family finds love do you remember? Like I sent you
Yes, I watched it.
and I was like, what the fuck? Like who are they talking about? And then I watched it and it was fucking Jameer Gibbs and I was like, oh.
Right.
And then their story too, like as a team
Right.
from the year before, which is like the year that like I started getting into football when we
Right.
made the podcast, and then like last year, whenever like they kind of had the similar story, and I really wanted them to go to the fucking Super Bowl.
They were so close.
So just based off that, I'm a Lions fan, and I can name 5 players.
Thank you very much. That's so real. That's so true, though. That's the
And on
shit
the
we're
okay.
talking about. Thank you very much. I actually can name 5 players. Fuck you.
And then my second thing that I was gonna bring up was okay. First, we're doing a fantasy, right?
Of course.
Okay,
Obviously.
are you gonna get mad at me if I just like have everybody on my team named Chris?
Of course not. Because
Like,
that would directly benefit me. So,
okay,
obviously not.
but like, what if
No,
I
that's
win?
so real though.
What if I win?
What fucking quarterback is named Chris?
I don't know. I have to find a name. I have to find a name where like everybody is part of the name. Maybe like Michael or something.
I don't think there's any. Maybe Joe. I know there's a few. There's Joe Burrow and Joe Flacco.
I gotta
But
look into it.
I don't.
Maybe
Yeah, but then you're gonna
I
get
gotta
into
look
the other
into it.
position.
I gotta look into it.
I don't think there's any receivers named Joe. I don't know.
I'm gonna get like the fucking 6th string receiver.
No, literally. He doesn't even play. He's the fucking backup.
No, like he's the backup for if the backup's backup gets hurt.
Right. Hey, you never know.
I also told Alphonse to get in on the fantasy. He might.
He should, because we're always looking for more people. It's because I feel like a lot of people that do fantasy, they like do it for money, but we don't. We just do it for fun. So then people don't want to join it because they're like, I'm not gonna get anything out of it. Have you heard of a good time?
First of all, you have to wait like fucking 20 weeks in order to get the money anyways.
No. You have to wait the whole fucking season.
The whole fucking season. The fuck? Who the fuck gives a shit?
It's a bad ROI.
No, literally, like, just fucking bet on Prize Picks every day. Like, who gives a
No,
shit? The
no,
fuck?
literally. Like, yeah, that's fucking true.
And then, like, what? Even if you put in a lot of money, like, say everyone puts in $100, you still
Your
have to
chance,
wait a lot of money or a lot
no,
of
and
time.
yeah, and also your chances of winning are like one in however many people are in the league.
Exactly. And then if it's for
Right.
money, more people are gonna be in it.
Right.
The fuck?
Yeah, if you're doing fantasy football in hopes of getting your bag up, maybe you should look into something else.
Maybe you should get a fucking job.
Maybe get a fucking 9 to 5, bozo.
Fucking Course Careers sponsor us so we can get these people careers.
So, anyways, y'all should join our fantasy football league. We never have enough people. There's always like 5 people or like 6 people, and I'm like,
Okay.
and then everyone has like good players on their team, you know, because there's not one person that gets fucked. Anyways, I'm joking.
I actually feel like this is a good pivot to our next segment. Not having any friends. Right? So
And first of all, fuck you.
I mean,
No,
I don't have any
no,
friends either. I got like three friends near me. Shout out Ashley, Monica, Portia. You know who you are. But so not having any friends.
Sorry.
A mutual experience.
Okay.
We got off social media.
Yes, we did.
We got off social media. I've been off it for only since like March 13th. But every
That's
now
like
and
2
then
months. What has your experience been? Because I've been off of social media for a long time. I think it's been like over a year now. So.
Oh, honestly, yeah. It has been a long time for you. What is my experience? I actually feel like really good. I do think I like eventually I'm gonna go back on, but like in a more controlled state. You know?
Right.
Because I personally do find joy in like sharing what I'm doing.
Right.
You know? It's like to the world. Or even just like using it as like a personal diary, which is like what I used to do. But
Right.
I know now, like from this small experience, that I can go back in a more controlled state, like meaning like maybe I share, but I don't care about like the opinions, you know, or like maybe I
Right.
don't care about likes or views, which is like something I was already transitioning out of before I just decided to cut, you know, like hiding likes and views and stuff like that from myself, and stuff like that,
Right.
because I don't know. You know, you just since it's an option and I'm like a data person, it's just something that you look at, you know?
Right.
But I just feel like I can go back on a healthier state.
Right. I feel like, I mean, we've been on the internet for a long time.
A long
Like,
time.
we've been on the internet like since its conception. But I
Facts.
mean, the internet, I feel like we have such a unique perspective, especially compared to like people that grew up completely without the internet. And then
Right.
there's
Like our parents.
like yeah, and like the generations before us, like they grew up and the
Yeah.
internet didn't exist until they were like already like almost out of high school. You know, you're like basically an adult at that point. And
Yeah.
then the generation after us, like they grew up only, bless you. Bless you. Bless you.
Thank you.
The generation after us, they grew up like from their fucking conception on the internet, like the fucking
No,
iPad
literally.
babies. But I feel like our generation has such a unique perspective on it because we grew up for the most part, like our childhood, not on the internet. And
Yeah.
then the internet kind of, you know, got bigger and
Yeah.
we got to experience it, I guess, sort of at like the midpoint of our lives. So like we know what the world was like before the internet, and we also know what it's like to grow up with the internet. And when the internet, I say the internet, but like
And
specifically like
social
social
media.
media,
Yeah.
right? Whenever social media first came out, it was radically different than what it
What it
social
is
media is
now.
now. Right.
Exactly.
Like social media was created, I feel like, from my experience, with the intent and purpose of actually like what the name means. Like it's a media for being social. It was a
Hmm.
way to connect with people. Like I think of things like MySpace and like
Yeah.
OG Tumblr and shit and like OG Facebook. It was a way for people to connect with people that maybe weren't in their
Exactly.
like direct vicinity.
Yeah.
But over time it's really I've this is where I say I feel like we have a unique perspective on it because we've watched it transform from what its intended purpose was to
Hmm.
connect people to the complete opposite. Like now social media
Hmm.
is isolating people.
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
right. And it reminds me of the video that you had sent of like the rise and the fall of
Of the malls.
malls. Right. And it's
Yeah.
like people don't really actually connect with each other on a human level,
No.
which yeah, it's just so crazy cuz going back to like I guess what I was saying before, like the OG internet, people still connected outside of the internet, but
That's true.
it was a new thing, and now it's like almost like it's inverted. So people don't really connect with people outside of the internet, which is
No.
so
Yeah.
crazy. And so, and also the other thing too that I've noticed so much is the fact that me bringing capitalism into everything, but businesses and
Me too.
corporations have have really taken social media and this tool that was used to connect people and turned it into like how can I make money off of this? And so
Yeah.
now
Exactly.
yes, you go on social media and it's like advertisement after
After
advertisement after
advertisement,
advertisement,
yes.
and even the videos that you see that are like real people and they're like talking, and
It's
then
an
it's a
ad.
fucking ad. Literally, it's everything is a fucking advertisement. Everybody's sponsored by somebody. Us being sponsored by Beatbox. No, I'm joking. But no, like that's the shit that I'm talking about is you can't even trust the opinions of the internet because you don't know who's being paid to say everyone is being paid to say these things, you know? So
Yeah.
I feel like the internet has turned into a marketing tool,
For
which
sure.
sucks.
It does
That
suck.
sucks.
Yeah, that definitely does suck. I don't know. Like I was thinking about it because how I said I've been kind of toying with the idea of going like back. I don't know. Like every time I think about it, I'm just like I don't know. But I do enjoy sharing a piece of my life, but also
Right.
I'm in this weird space right now because like content creation, like something I want to touch on later is like our hobbies and stuff. And content creation
Right.
is something that keeps creeping up for
Right.
like a hobby. But it's like I don't know, like
Right.
how does one balance a detox and wanting to make like a career out of it, which is just
Right.
something I'm toying with. And that's why I said I'm going to just approach it on a healthier level instead of just like
Right.
doom scrolling or caring about
Right.
just post and go. Create your content and post it and go. Like it doesn't
Yes,
matter.
I agree. And I was gonna bring up too, like I don't know what the study was from, but I saw it somewhere that for Gen Z and prior, like younger, I mean,
Is that
I
us?
think yeah, it's
Okay.
like 57% of them want to pursue a career in content creation.
I know,
So
right?
and so it begs the question, like, do people actually want to do this because they're passionate about doing this?
Yeah.
Or do people want to do it because they've seen other people be successful doing it and they don't want like they're not doing it because they enjoy doing it. They're doing it because they want the success that they've seen people get from it.
You know what's crazy? So I asked myself that question during this detox because
Right.
that is a big question, especially if you're doing a detox. You're like,
Right.
how can I create content while I'm not doing social media, right? But then that's
Right.
not even the question you're supposed to ask yourself. It's, do I want to do content creation like for the rest of my
Right.
life?
Right.
Or, whatever. And then I was thinking, like, okay, initially, no, I don't. I'm okay with it. But then,
Right.
I'm getting it back to my fitness goals, and I've like been doing good. And I feel like expressing that, So it's like,
Right.
so me personally, the answer is yes, I feel passionate about it because I found a
Right.
passion in fitness and nutrition and health, and that's what I want to record for other people. But just
That's
that,
how I feel about this podcast.
yeah,
I'm like, I've been off of social media for like over a year, but I still feel like
connected.
joy and
Yeah,
content from doing this show with you. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Because I'm like, it's a chance
yeah.
for us to just
Hang
talk.
out. Yeah,
Yeah, and I like
yeah, and
sharing
that's how I
it.
feel.
Yeah. And I feel like
That's how I feel about this too.
right.
I think that creating content has been one of my hobbies that I didn't realize, because during the detox, kept finding myself like with nothing to do. I know that you found a lot of hobbies, but they're just not hobbies that I can partake or that I want to partake by myself,
You
Like you
have
have Albert.
so much time. Like that's one
Oh, for
thing that I
sure.
feel like whenever you get off of social media,
For
you're like,
sure you
holy
have a lot
shit,
of
like
time.
yeah, cuz whenever you're so I guess like deep into the doom scroll
The doom
and the
scroll.
social media, yeah, like you get bored and your immediate I mean, you don't even get bored because your immediate I guess like your brain immediately is like, well, let's go on like
Let's
TikTok.
find something else. Yeah.
Right. And so you're sitting there scrolling for literally hours, like, which is so crazy. But, and then whenever you just completely like get off of like social media and stuff like that, you're like, holy, like, what the fuck do I do now? So,
The first so when I decided to do the detox, I was actually going to be off a week. I don't know if you remember, but like I was
yeah,
going to be off. And I was like, fuck it. I'll just do it now. And during that week, I had no idea what to do with myself. Because I kept finding, like, that muscle memory and everything like that. I was just
right,
like, I don't know what to do. I did go to Michael's. I did get a few hobby things. I found out what I don't want to do with my time,
right,
which is important to know. My therapist, like, she once told me it's important to know like what you don't want, because that'll help you find out what you do want. Because if you
right,
ask yourself what you want out of life, out of a partner, friends, family, you don't know. You just know what you don't want. So it's important to
right.
decide that. That was deep. I'm
Boundaries.
sorry.
No, it's
Yeah.
real. Like, you have to know what your boundaries are.
And like what you don't want. And then I feel like the same concept goes for your hobbies. Like,
Right,
I know I don't want to be spending 20 hours a day on my phone. That
right,
was really weird to see. Like my screen time went from 20 hours to 3 hours, or sometimes 6, because I go on YouTube on my phone
right.
and I watch like 3-hour videos, but like still, it's still a crazy jump, and it's just like, damn.
Right. I think one thing too that I guess learned or experienced was that I don't really know how to explain it, but like being on your phone and scrolling through social media is not the same thing as like watching a movie or watching a show. Like I
Yeah,
remember I would say like I don't really like I don't really
watch
watch
TV.
TV. Right. And so yeah, because I was just scrolling through fucking TikTok all fucking day. I'm like, bitch, holy fuck. Yeah, I was literally like, my screen time was like 13 fucking hours. I'm like, bitch, that's your entire fucking day. Get a fucking grip. But one thing that I've started doing now that I'm not like having so much screen time is I guess it is still technically screen time, but I've been watching more movies and more shows and stuff, but I feel like it's more fulfilling than like scrolling through short form media. You know what I mean?
Exactly. I was just gonna. That brings me to a question. Sorry, I keep adjusting because I get
Go for it.
bored in a position. But like, I that brings me to a question. that I actually noticed a couple weeks ago. Did you feel that your like sensitivity, how do I say it, like decreased, so where you weren't as like overstimulated? Because
Yeah.
before social media, I would have to have, a fucking podcast playing, a show playing, and I'll be scrolling on my phone. But now I can live in like quiet.
Right. Yeah, that's definitely something that I did notice. Like, um, whenever I was, well, because we both work from home. So we
Yeah,
don't have jobs that we like go out and do, or whatever.
and socialize. Yeah,
Right. Fuck you, bitch.
we don't.
No, no, it's true. Yeah, true. Yeah, we work from home, so we're at home all day. And whenever I was on social media, I would go and I would like get my lunch and I would sit at the table and I would just scroll through like TikTok or Instagram or whatever the whole
I would
time.
do
But
that. I would do that during my entire shift.
no, literally, yeah, me too. But like specifically at the times where you're like not
Supposed
working,
to. Yeah.
right? Like I'm at lunch and I'm eating my food, but I still have like I'm still on my phone looking at my
Yeah.
screen. And so that's one thing that I definitely did notice whenever I first got off. I was like, what the fuck am I supposed to do? Like I'm sitting here like eating my food and I'm looking out of my window. And I'm like, this is like so crazy. But after being off of it for so long, like you find the joy in not
Life.
being entertained. Yeah, entertained the whole time and getting your entertainment from I guess like the real world around you. So a lot of the times like I'll get my lunch or my breakfast like when I'm on my break or something, I'll go into the kitchen cuz I have a lot of windows back there and I'll just sit there and I'll eat my food and I'll literally just look out the window and there's birds flying around and like my cats, like we have pets, like my cat is there. I'll hang out with my cats and stuff and I don't feel the need to be
Yeah.
constantly like have something in my face entertaining me my entire like existence. Just being okay with being bored or being okay with
Yeah.
not having something
Or
actively
like,
entertaining you all the time was revolutionary.
I think that it is fair to say being off social media jump started me getting a pet.
Right.
Because I mean, I've been talking about it forever, but did I do it? No.
No. And I feel like
But I
it's not
was
just with a
also
pet.
scared. I was
I feel
also
like
scared.
it's not just getting a pet, like it's also a lot of just goals that you have in life. Like there's a lot of
Yeah.
things that you want for yourself that you don't actually put the effort to because every time that you get a chance or you have time to do something that could be productive, you're not doing it. You're like
Yeah,
scrolling
I
through
was
Instagram
yeah,
or
I
something.
was
You know what
just
I mean?
gonna yeah, I was just gonna say that too. Like, I mean, I was also scared of getting a cat because I just never had a cat before. But like,
Right.
there was, I was like sitting there and I was like, there's literally nothing stopping me. Like,
Right. Like
if
there's
I'm like
nothing
really
distracting
thinking
you
about
from
it,
the thought of that I want to get a cat.
yeah, that's what I mean. Like, there's nothing stopping. Like,
Right.
there's nothing I can use for procrastination. Like, the time
Right.
was now.
Exactly.
Like
Yeah,
there,
that was a great explanation.
because like what I was doing before was just looking up on TikTok like how to prepare for a cat. What do I need for a cat? Like,
And then it's time for bed. And then you go to sleep and you wake up the next day and
and you
it's
have to
the
go to
same
work and
cycle.
everything. Yeah,
Right.
it's the same thing. It's the same thing.
Crazy.
And then like
No, that's so
every
true.
yeah, but then my internet went out. I called out
That's
of
what
work.
happened to me. That's what
That's how you got a cat?
No, that's how I was like, no, my internet went out too. And then I was like, wow, I don't know how to exist without the internet. I was like, maybe this is a problem.
Yeah, my internet went out, and then like I tried. I even tried to use like YouTube on my phone, and then it wasn't working. So I was like, "Fuck, fine, I'll just go get a cat."
No, literally.
And then,
Yeah, it's crazy.
well, let's bring that into the next topic, or the next point for this topic. Um, and it also kind of like ties in. I don't know. I feel
Right.
like we have different takes on the detox. Mostly, I think because I've been doing it for less time, and I keep toying with the idea of going back, and you were just like, I'm never gonna see you ever again.
Well, the thing that really holds me back is like whenever I was on social media, I knew that it was like a problem, or like I knew that
Mm.
it wasn't a productive way for me to be using my time, and I knew
Mhm.
like all these negative effects, but I was like I don't care. Like
Yeah.
I guess. And so it took me like going to the extreme to not having anything at all, to and then living my life without it and figuring out ways to not have to use. And the thing is that like
That's true.
it's not your fault. Like, it's not anyone's fault that they
No.
can't
Yeah.
stop fucking scrolling. Like, these companies and these corporations, their entire purpose and their job is to get as much of your time as they possibly can because they make money off of ad revenue, etc. So
Well,
their entire like marketing and their entire purpose of existing is extracting as much of your time as they possibly can. So I'm
right.
like, it's not your fault. And I
I
know if I want, like, if I were to go back, I wouldn't be able, like, I would be exactly where I was at before. And that's
I
just because I know
think
myself.
I think that it would be okay to equate it to an addiction.
No, literally, it's literally almost the same thing. Like drugs are addictive, and they are made to be addictive.
Well,
And it's the same thing. Like
well,
applications and social media is addictive, but they make it that way on purpose. So it's
do,
not your fault.
do you remember that show My Strange Addiction?
Yes.
Well, like that show taught me that addiction can go deeper than drugs.
They're making
And
money
that's the
off of
same
it.
thing same thing like when they make cigarettes, or like
Right.
when they
Exactly.
like when they made fent you know,
No, literally right.
like when they make that stuff, they like pharma big pharma created those things with the knowledge that those are highly addictive.
Shout out to the Beatles. Shout out to the Beatles documentary. But my favorite Beatle is George Harrison. And if you know George Harrison, you know that he died from lung cancer. But I'm watching this documentary of him from like the 60s or 70s, I don't know exactly. But he's ripping cigarette after cigarette, bro. Every time I see him like take a fucking puff, it pains my heart because he died so young from lung cancer. And I'm like, we know these things now, but back then, like, they were advertised everywhere. Everybody was doing it. It was the societal norm, but it's harmful. And I feel the exact same way about social media.
If you think about that, you just described capitalism.
I know. And you think our government would like step in and be like, "Hey, this is like really detrimental to people's like
No, because
livelihood and their lives."
our government thrives on the capitalistic like
I
economic like
know. I know.
system. You know this, like
I know. I fucking know. It's just fucked up. I mean,
I
and the
know.
what makes it so much worse is like it is fucked up,
Yeah.
and they also know that it's fucked up, which I feel like
Yeah.
makes it even worse. But
It
anyway,
is.
I've been wanting to get into a socioeconomic political state of the world episode, but I'm like,
We're just
do
gonna
we
do
want
it.
to get fuck
Yeah,
it?
we're just
No,
gonna do it. We're
no,
just gonna do it.
it needs to be said. It
We're
needs to
just
be
gonna do
said.
it. We're gonna yap.
But
We
this
don't.
is, you know what? You know what? I'm gonna say
This
it.
is our show.
I was literally about to say, this is our fucking
Our show.
podcast, and we could talk about whatever the fuck we want to.
No, literally, and that's what. Okay, to pivot onto something lighter. Oh, let's talk about our off-season shenanigans. Um,
Yeah! Get into
what
it. Yeah.
what have you been doing to keep yourself entertained? What have you been replacing with, our Thursday night football, Sunday night football,
Yeah.
Sunday day football?
Sunday
Let's be
day
real.
football.
We're not doing anything on Sundays to just watch football all day.
Real. As God intended.
Period.
No, I'm joking. No, this is such a good thing because I feel like you and me both have, after football ended, we were like, what the fuck are we gonna do now?
I
No, literally. Fuck you, rocking in the court.
fucking
No,
fetal position. I bought a cat because I didn't have football.
no, literally. um, no. One thing I've been doing, which you are, you bitch already know what the fuck I've been doing, but for the viewers, I've been gardening. I've been in my garden era. I feel like
And
a
she
lot of
means actual plants.
yes.
Not
I mean actual, not Miss Ganja.
actually insert pictures of George here.
Which George? Oh, George. George. Okay, yes. Insert picture of
George.
George. Yes, yes, he is named after George Harrison, my favorite Beatle, as I mentioned previously and will mention again multiple times in the future. Thank you very much.
Period.
No, I'm joking. George is my tomato plant. He is fucking thriving. We've also been into reading a lot lately. We've been reading a lot of books.
Oh my god. So my friend and I decided to start reading a Quan Mills book. These are the options.
Okay.
This
Tell me.
hoe got roaches in her crib. My psycho baby daddy. Pregnant by my mother's gay husband.
Pregnant.
And my baby mama is a loser. The one that won, we did a spin the wheel. The one that won was my baby mama's a loser. I'm gonna start it tomorrow.
My
Now I
baby
will be
mama is a
honest.
loser is crazy.
I will be honest. I did start reading a different Quan Mills book. It was My Old Thought Neighbor.
Yes, I do remember this.
Okay, that one was insane.
We need to move from podcasters to authors, I think.
I mean, shit. At this point.
I've
Yeah.
started working out. I've been going on a walk slash jog
Jog.
3 days
Yeah.
out of a week, and I've been working out like 4 to 5 days out of the week. So
There you go.
I'm gonna stick with it. I'm gonna stick with it, and I'm gonna
And
keep doing it until
and
August, and then we'll go get our blood work done.
that's
And they're
3 or
gonna
4
tell me
months.
that I'm healthy, and they're gonna tell me that I'm not pre-diabetic, and they're gonna tell me my cholesterol is fine.
They're gonna tell me I need to go to rehab and that I am having a heart attack.
No, they're not. No, they're not. No, they're not.
They're gonna be like, actually, you're having a heart attack right now. And I'd be like, what the fuck?
No, you're fine. You're gonna be.
No, I think if I'm okay, I have lost 30 pounds since the last time I've been to the doctor.
Period.
Which is crazy. Okay, because that's the reason why I wanted to start losing weight, because I was that I got weighed and I was like, what the fuck? Like, when did I become
You were like, yeah.
No, literally, I was like,
I felt that.
well,
I felt that, queen.
But then she was like, we were going. I told her I wanted the pill, and she was like, as your physician, I have to go over all the options and blah blah blah. And I was like, okay, whatever. And then she was like, the patch, you have to be a certain BMI. She goes, hold on, let me check yours. And then she checked it and she was like, yeah, you barely meet the metric. So if you wanted the patch, you can get it. I was like, bitch.
I would have pulled out my fucking gun and just shot myself in the fucking.
I was like, bitch, I want the fucking pill. Get me the damn pill immediately. That's what I came here for. I didn't ask you about the fucking patch.
First of all, fuck you, bitch. Fuck you.
I was like,
I killed myself.
Fuck. That shit changed the
trajectory
of,
of your life. Literally. Me watching that one video of that fucking lady where
I was like,
you see how skinny I am? I just got diagnosis of pre-diabetic. Changed the trajectory of my fucking life.
Bitch. She was like, yeah, you need like, you can't have a BMI of 35 or more, and you're at 31.2. I was like, bitch, you could have just said 31.
And then you killed her, obviously.
I was like, oh, no, thank you. I'm not looking at getting the patch. Bitch, I came here for the fucking poo.
Oh my fucking god. That's literally like the woman experience.
That shit was so insane.
No, but I feel like that's such a like woman experience that you like see something or someone tells you something and it really sticks with you, and so you make a radical change in your life and then it's not sustainable. Like that's the thing, is it's not sustainable. And so then
No, I
eventually.
agree, but that's why I really strive to do something sustainable for myself. You know, like
Right.
I started out with
Right.
walking
Exactly.
because
Yeah.
we've
And
heard, like you're saying, like it is a woman experience. It is something that I've done repeatedly, but I
right.
wanted a long-term change this time. I was like,
Right.
okay, well, I'm 25. I need a actual something I'm going to stick with long term.
Right. Something that's yeah, because I feel like you, and then not to tie this back into social media or whatever, but like it's so real because I feel like, especially, and I'm not gonna say this is a woman experience because I know that like the environment for men has also changed significantly recently.
Definitely.
And I know men are dealing with a lot of the same shit that women
Their
have
own
been
thing.
dealing with for
Yeah.
a long time, you know? Like women
Yeah.
have been dealing with this shit for a long time, but now I feel like it's permeated into the manosphere.
Everybody. Yeah.
Right. But like seeing shit online of, I don't even know how to explain this the best way possible, but like you see someone who is like an influencer who is
Yeah.
documenting their lifestyle, but that
Yeah.
lifestyle is not sustainable for
At
a
all. They have
regular
like a
person.
20-step skincare routine.
No, and even for like the gym, like they're making like gym content and it's like I get it, but like the regular person has like a 9 to 5 job. Like they
Yeah.
have other shit that's happening in their life, and a lot of the time like these influencers or these people that are making like like content on social media, that's their full-time job.
Yeah, but
So
and you know, okay, not not to bring this back to myself, but that's why I want to create content for
that's
fitness because
realistic.
I work 10 to 7, which is a
Right.
bad time, you know?
Right.
Like it's a
No,
bad
yeah.
time. But like I want to do a realistic like how I get to the gym at 5 a.m. and it doesn't look fucking pretty. It's not pretty as
No,
shit.
I
I'm dragging myself out off the bed.
right. And I know you know what I'm talking about when you see some
Yeah.
fucking bitch on social media and she's like, my 5 a.m. morning routine. And she wakes
No,
up
wait,
out of
wait.
bed with a
No.
fucking full face. Go fuck yourself. You're fucking
No, no,
lying.
no. No, the fucking my 5 to 9 before my 9 to 5.
Fuck off. Fuck off.
And she
Fuck
like
off. And
she
she
makes
doesn't have a 9 to 5. You're lying. You're a full-time content creator. Shut
no
up.
literally
Your
like
9 to 5
so
is fucking making TikToks all day. Shut up.
she wakes up at 5 a.m., does her all her skincare routine, has like a full course meal, like all prepped out. Like I want to do the realistic shit where the most you're gonna get is like me brushing my teeth because that's the most I can do.
Real.
Believe me.
No, that's so
And
fucking real. You know
and
exactly
then
what I'm
like
fucking talking about.
and then fucking chugging an apple juice on or applesauce on the way.
No, that's real. No, and I don't even want to say that it's like a woman experience because I've literally like I know you also have seen firsthand that like this shit is really permeating into like the manosphere and like the toxic masculinity, and I know they're also
Or
dealing with the same shit that women have been dealing with for forever,
that
where they're like,
50-50 combo, or that 50-50 combo where they're like what 50-50 and I can't do 50-50. I'm a trad wife. Like what the fuck are you even talking about? How are you like born with a year like starting with the 2 and you want to be a trad wife? And you don't even know what the fuck that means. And you just like want to find a man with all these like requirements that like don't exist because they're not feasible because like you're looking at humans, you know? Like you want to find another human to be with. So obviously they're not going to be fucking perfect.
right. No, you're
The
right.
fuck?
No,
And then like
it's so fucking crazy this shit that it's because that shit gets the shit that is like provoking or like
Yeah.
radical, like that's what gets views. And
Yeah.
so then these things get popular, and then more people start taking it because that's what gets views, that's what gets
Yeah.
money. It's true. And
We're gonna talk more about that
I
on
was
our
literally no, I was literally about
on
to
our
say not
next.
to get into the socioeconomic political state of the world, but being super radicalized gets attention and gets clicks and gets views, and then that gets money, and so then you lead to a hyper polarized like content, whether it's like left or right, it's the same thing. Like, and I feel like that's why the state of the world is becoming hyper polarized in one direction or the other, and you're getting shit like exactly what you said, like trad wives and whatever the
Yeah.
fuck, like
And
traditionalist.
they're
But the thing is that like young people are seeing this, and that's like their truth, and they think that that
literally.
is like what is reality, and it's not, bro. Like, whatever, we can talk about it more on the next episode, like you said, because there's a lot of shit that we can go into
It's a lot of
deep
stuff.
into it, but it's just really crazy the shit that is happening in the world right now. Hey, Fred! Hey, Fredward, what the hell are you doing here? Ariana, what are you doing here? There's not a single thought behind those blank eyes. Hey!
Oh, Albert, look at my cat.
I have a question to ask you, actually. Basically, what we've been talking about is how stereotypically for women, there's always been kind of like a societal expectation of like you have to look a certain way, you have to perform, like you have to go to the gym, work out, maintain a body, be healthy, be fit, be look a certain way, etc. And I feel like men haven't really had that, expectations societally in the world. But we were talking about how the rise of social media and the influence of social media into people's everyday lives and stuff like that has led to the rise of that kind of toxic environment and like toxic expectations, specifically in regards to like fitness and like physical, how
Health
people look,
and
yeah,
well-being.
physical health and well-being, has also permeated into the realm of like men. And I feel like specifically it's a really prevalent topic of, there's a lot of male influencers that look a certain way and have a certain lifestyle and, gym culture and all that, and how that has changed from what you grew up as in like middle school as like a teenager and stuff to what you see now in the world. Do you have any comments?
I mean, as far as where you brought up with females and body image issues, I really like seeing so much of that. I mean, I feel like everybody that works out to an extent like has some sort of consciousness, like self-consciousness. So everybody that works out wants to get better in some way. But one thing that I have seen that is pretty alarming in the male fitness uh in general is well, people have been more open about their steroid use as opposed to before.
I
And
know he
now
was
I've
gonna say
seen
boards.
like a lot of it's been more accepted amongst younger kids to do steroids, and especially influencers now openly talking about doing steroids, because before um a lot of the top bodybuilders, they were doing magazines, they were doing shows. It wasn't the same as social media now, but they wouldn't openly talk about doing steroids. It was like a known unknown. Like you knew they were doing it, but nobody really talked about it. But then it's a good and bad thing. Like there is good informational stuff out there. That like I'm because some people are gonna do it regardless. So if they're gonna do it, at least give them some information on the long term effects and the physical and mental side effects it gives you. But also, I feel like it's been almost too widely accepted that like a bunch of younger kids now are all like, I want to get big right away, so they start doing steroids, and that's kind of I don't think they understand the long term effects of the decision they're making, and most of the people that do steroids do have some kind of regret.
I Whenever you say that, it makes me think of that one influencer that's like really famous. I don't even know anything about that whole
Oh,
realm.
Sam Sulik.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah,
I knew
he's
you were gonna
a
say
prime
that.
example of a really young
I don't
influencer.
even know anything about that whole realm or area of like social media, but I know exactly who you're talking about, which goes to show like how far that has permeated through social
Extended,
media.
yeah.
Yeah, that like I don't even know anything about that world, but I know who he is and he's really famous, so I can't even imagine the effect that it's having on like young men who feel like they have to look this way to achieve a certain like goal in life.
Another thing too is, so there's that, but also in the male atmosphere, I feel like with, especially with lifestyle content too. But I did watch like lifestyle stuff before. It was mainly on YouTube. It wasn't on social media platforms like it is now, but it was mostly like vlogs, and it was very personal. And it was like very like a genuine relationship between the audience and the person. But with social media and everything that has happened with it, everything became inflated. Like it became about, are you living the most lavish lifestyle? Are you wearing the cleanest fit to the gym? And I feel like it went from going to these people to get advice about how to look good, how to get better at it, yeah, work out effectively, till I need to do everything they're doing outside of the gym to be like them. And I feel like that opens the door to a man like Andrew Tate, because he the manosphere, personal relationships, women, get your money, fuck bitches, and also exercise, getting big, doing push-ups, being a man.
I think it is super interesting, and I would love to hear more about their perspective on things, especially because we kind of delved into like the feminine side of it in this episode.
Alrighty. Well, that's a wrap with the Blitz Babes. Thank you so much for listening to us yap today. As always, I'm Aeron.
Sarah.
And again, we're the Blitz Babes. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and follow us for more content.
Hell yeah. We'll see y'all next week.
Bye.
Salut. Bye.